Hello friends and judges, my name is Matteo, I am a level 3 from Italy. You are a little bit lucky because usually I like to talk a lot, but today I have my flight, so I will try to be on schedule. Today we're going to talk about some mistakes. Why did we choose to talk about mistakes? I believe that mistakes are the moments where people learn the most. So if we can share what goes wrong when someone tries to go as far as to level 3, maybe we can learn without replicating the mistakes. So we are going to do today a countdown from 10 to 1 and see the most common and frequent mistake people do while going to level 3. Let's go to mistake number 10. Why I'm here, why I'm talking to you. I am the level 3 testing manager. What does that mean? It means that I am the one and only king of a level 3 process. So I will decide your destiny. I will be the one that will say that you are level 3, you are not a level 3. Well, we said we are talking about mistakes. This is actually a double mistake. Why? Black on black is not very easy to read, but there are multiple people that are actually kings of the process. The process is composed of several stages. I just want to quickly put a name under the faces. The first one on the left is Nate Hurley. He's a level 3 from Texas. He's very proud of being in Houston. He's taking care of a verification committee for approving self-reviews, and that's the first step. The second person to the left is Michael Arabi. He's a level 3 from France, and he's running the TLTP part of the process. Then we have Nate back as well, because after the TLTP you got to submit your level 3 checklist, and the verification committee is working on that. After that we have Elise Boisy. She is a level 3 from France as well, and she's taking care of the pre-event interview stage. Then we have John Brian McCarthy. He's currently the level 3 test content manager. So he's the one behind the level 3 test that you have to take before actually moving to the next step, that is the panel. What I actually do is work with you to schedule your panel and be sure that you don't miss it. After your panel, you will get in touch either with Nicoletta Press. She's a level 3 from, I guess, Oregon now?
Yes.
Okay. She's taking care of the expedited checklist. So in case you do not pass your first panel, you may be under her guidance. And finally, we have Agustin Mopti. He's a level 3 from Argentina. And he's taking care of communication after your panel. So once you become a level 3, there are many things that you may want to know, and he's making sure that you get the answers you need. So every single person in this picture is part of the process. Every single person in this picture is one of the kings. None of these persons are actually evaluating you, unless assigned specifically to you in one of the steps. That means that you can go to them and you can talk to them and not be afraid that, oh, if I share my weaknesses with these people, I'm screwed. I will never become a level 3. That's false. Okay? Our job is not to evaluate you. Our job is to put you in the best possible situation to succeed through your process. So use these people as a resource. And don't be afraid to talk to us. Any question about the people and the process? It's a little bit dark, but I promise I can see hands. Alright? Cool. Let's move to number 9. Whoa. Any idea of what this can be? I don't know, I will give you a hint. Oh. This is coming from a lot of discussion I had since, I don't know why, but I think it was Magic Fest and Mythic Championship Barcelona. Something happened that weekend that generated a lot of people wanting to talk to me as soon as possible. Yes, we are about 1.5 months from a big change in the judge program. Big changes traditionally highlight some of our fears they generate doubts and uncertainty. So this is totally natural. Don't be afraid if you are afraid of what's going to happen. I am. I don't have an infinite amount of knowledge about what's going to happen after this date. But I did talk a little bit with the people from Judge Academy, and I get very positive news out of these conversations, because yes, things may be different in the future, but it will not happen on a sharp date. If you are doing the process, you are working on improving yourself in the qualities, because you aim at becoming a level 3 in the next 6, 10 or 12 months. There will be a period of time where things will keep moving the same way as it is now. And after 6 months, so that will be in April 2020, there may be changes. We don't know yet what, but they will be communicated in advance, and the path will be updated. So what happens if you are in the process now and you are a judge from one of the first regions that Judge Academy will cover? Nothing will change for you for 6 months. Judge Academy will take care of all the steps. They will be owning the materials that we use, so the level 3 test, the PI questions, the panel guidelines. All the materials will be revised by them and owned by them. And you will be evaluated by people who are contracted by them. So what does it change for you? Mostly nothing. It's more like administrative work. So the process will keep maintaining the way it is. After 6 months, we will know. Okay. What happens for judges who are not part of the first regions to be included in Judge Academy? We are building now a legacy judge program with a new leadership structure. I've been talking to some of the people that were previously on the screen, who, by the way, contributed to this seminar a lot. And most of the people are very happy to continue serving the regions that will be later added to Judge Academy. So once again, nothing will actually change for a while, and our goal is that anybody who is in the process or wants to start the process soon, they can do it whenever they want to. Let's move on now with more funny things. Mister. Oh, cool. I like this one. So yeah, I know, I like chocolate, that's why. What kind of mistake is a piece of cake? Well, actually believing that the level 3 process is as easy as a piece of cake, it is a mistake. I want to be honest, it's going to be difficult, it's not easy. It is a long process. It requires going through a lot of things that are not just learning stuff, but are also working on yourself. The things you need to improve are multiple, and they span across being the best judge you can at events, the best judge you can outside events, being able to deal with tough situations, with difficult people, and being part of the leadership of what the program is. So being a good model for other judges. It is a long process. Typically, time depends on you, not on the process. But after a while doing this, I can tell you that from the moment you decide to work on your first self-review, because you want to start the process and get through the steps, to the moment you panel, typically you will spend 10 to 12 months with us. Most of the time is spent getting your recommendations. So the sooner you start with a mentor working on the qualities, the better for you. Part of this time is not entirely in your hands, because it depends on other people's life and how busy they are. Still, as long as you keep engaged with them, things will progress. Okay. And well, once you finish eating this piece of cake, usually you feel so much better. I can promise you that. Number 7. Ooh. This is cool. I learned a new expression in English while going through this slide. What do you think this is about? Well, the new word is level 3 is not a zero sum. Sometimes we work so hard to get somewhere and we're actually working on it and somebody else gets it. We feel something like we lost something. Why didn't I get it as soon as this other person get it? Now that there is a new level 3, there is no room anymore for me, either in my region, in my continent, or in my city. This is a totally honest feeling. Because yes, when I strive to get something and somebody else gets it, it makes me sad. Yet at the same time, we don't have a limited number requirement on how many level 3s we have in the world. Getting more level 3s in a region is a positive thing for the region. Even getting more level 3s in the same town is amazing. Because the more we have, the more positive models we can have for other judges, and the more cooperation we can have, the less work for level 3s to have is amazing. So don't be afraid about the community progressing before you actually do. Part of the process is also about your community, how you contribute to it. And the same is for the other candidates. So if someone close to you gets to level 3, they will contribute to your success as well. Try to be as happy as possible, because once you get there and you will see how much people are happy for you achieving this goal, you will feel so much better as well. Number 6. Cool. This is kind of a slow moment. As I said before, the process is partly in your hand, partly not. And one of the feelings I get the most in the time frame, especially during recommendations, is that I'm alone. Nobody is willing to help me. Nobody is writing me a recommendation, is making me advance in my task. And I mean, this is not technically a mistake, because this is a feeling you may have, and feelings are never wrong. But still, remember that the process is designed in a way that nobody can stop you, not a single person, and that there are multiple people you can talk to, you can go to for either support, explanations, or help into becoming better at some specific qualities. Your recommenders are your best resources. Your regional coordinators or your community managers will be your second best. If by any chance this will not satisfy all your questions or will not clear your mind of all the doubts, of course the kinks in the process are available to you as well. They are knowledgeable people and they are caring people. So don't be afraid of opening up if you have any situation that you want to discuss. And I'm sure that all together we can do something to help you feel better. I sometimes repeat myself. If you have any question, just interrupt me. I know for sure that, at least for myself, I care about every single judge that ever approaches me, however far they feel they are from level 3. I do care that the people that want to invest their time, their effort, their energy into the judge program, I really want them to find the support they need. I even had brand new level 1 candidate judges coming to me and say, okay, I want to become a level 3, what I need to do. So it's never too early to start a process, it's never too early to start to work on yourself. And believe me, yes.
Can I add something on the
Yeah.
slide here? I just want to comment on stand up to make sure you hear this. Obviously Matteo's the expert in this, but I just want to comment on this, having been through this recently. This is a very real thing. Okay, what he's talking about on this slide. I'm waiting for a recommendation and I feel like nobody's supporting me. It's a black box because, right, you're waiting on somebody else. So this is a very real thing. You're probably gonna feel this while you're waiting on recommendations. Don't let it hit you so dejected that you can't progress in that advancement, right? Because this is normal, unfortunately, because it takes a lot of time for us to sit and write those recommendations. And I'm sure Matteo can talk about how much time that takes. It takes time reviewing those too. But yeah, don't be surprised if you do feel this, and try to process that accordingly, because it is a valid feeling. You're gonna feel that way.
Once again, feelings are not wrong. Own your own feelings, and believe me that you can always find someone to share them with, and to try to provide you support and ways for you to progress through your path and to finally get to the point you want to get. Let's move to number 5. Cool. So anybody has an idea of what this mistake is?
It's doing dumb stuff on social media.
Oh, that's a useful advice. I can put this into this. Well, this is, we talked before, the first step of the process, the official first step, is submitting a self-review. Oh, come on, what's so difficult about just a selfie? I just need to talk about myself. I'm the best person in the world to be talking about myself. Well, actually, we've been running a lot. I've been running several chats in different regions, thanks also to Angela's support. Talking with candidates about, okay, what's not putting you in the best spot to achieve level 3? And the most frequent answer is, oh, self-review is so difficult to do. So even if it seems very easy because you need to talk about yourself, it actually scares people off. Why? What do we expect from a self-review for the level 3 process? A couple of things. First of all, you need to analyze yourself about all the 9 qualities, and this is the first step. 9 qualities are a lot, so take your time. I usually advise to spend between 2 or 3 weeks writing a self-review. So try to spend at least a couple of days of thinking about each qualities. We have some old but still gold articles on the level 3 blogs about the level 3 qualities and what they mean. It was difficult for me to find them, so I used Google, and I learned that I live in the 21st century and I don't have to bookmark everything. If you just Google Magic Judge level 3 qualities, there will be a link to the Judge blog. Go through each of the articles, find how the things that are in the articles apply to yourself. What we expect is that you don't only tell us, oh, I think I'm good at this quality. That's not enough. What you need to do is provide some examples why you think you are good or bad in parts of the qualities, like real situations, examples, not things that you, let's say, things that people could verify if they want to. Not that we are actually verifying, of course, we are not police. But this gives so much more context, and this is so much more useful for you to find practical applications of the ideas you have in your mind. It's a very good exercise. And for each quality, we want you to think about where you believe you are at compared to a level 3, and what you want to do in order to improve even in the next months. So once again, some real situation examples, like, okay, I want to become better at investigations. That's very commendable, and I'm very happy about that, but that doesn't really mean that you know how to actually become better. Try to think how you can better use the opportunities you will have in the next few months. Try to think about where to get access to additional information, to additional expertise, and put this into a written form. This is very important because you will be able to reference your own thoughts in the future. And finally, and this is probably the most difficult thing about the selfies, is that they need to be honest. What does that mean? Sometimes we receive self-reviews where candidates rate themselves as exceptional in all the 9 qualities. Well, and that is like a very good pitch about how they excel at everything. While I'm very happy if we get some like superhuman level 3 candidate. Believe me, this is like unlikely. Not even any level 3 I know are excellent in everything. So try to really put yourself into the shoes of a new level 3 and see if you really think you are the best of the best in the world at every single quality. At the same time, we also receive self-reviews where candidates say, "Oh, I'm so bad at everything." While this may be maybe more true than being excellent at everything, I still haven't found a candidate that is bad at everything. So try to provide a honest evaluation of yourself. Try to put your strengths and weaknesses in it. Be honest about them. Recently, we received a self-review that I find exemplar because the candidate was very, very honest about every single quality, and at the end he was something, okay, I believe I'm not ready to be a level 3 yet, but by going through this exercise, I found out that in the next 4 months, I will have enough opportunities to work on my major weaknesses, and I believe that in 6 months, I could start the process. So I want to do this in advance because it helps me focusing on what I want to improve, and I want to provide some good material to my eventual level 3 recommenders. And I was totally amazed. I said, please pass this self-review. If it was my goal, if I was the only king, I would pass this self-review. And this is the mindset I believe can be the most productive for anybody approaching just the self-review part of the process. Questions? Self-reviews, cool. Let's move on. Ooh, I like it. This is, I believe, something that you will not believe me. So it's one of my favorite topics. So the question is why I have to go through all these 10 to 12 months when everything is decided in 2 hours by 3 stranger people I never met before. So what's the goal of working so hard and just getting the result at that point? Well, I know it's difficult to believe, but actually every single step you go through in this period of time build up the final evaluation you will get. From some very clear situation, for example, the PEI is actually part of the panel, and you will be working with from 2 to 4 level 3s, going through questions and answers and feedback, and like a good chunk of the final review you will get after the panel is coming from the PEI stage. Every step since your beginning will provide feedback to the later steps in the process. So even when you write a self-review, there will be feedback given to you, but also feedback given to the following steps. And all as long as you progress, the knowledge that the process has about your skills and your capabilities will increase. And when you reach the panel stage, the panel will be very short because, I mean, well, maybe because I'm on the other side of the table, it seems very short. Maybe when you are the candidate, it seems very long. But it will touch only a few things, not your entire qualities, not your entire history. So even the feeling that, but I am so much more than what we discussed in the panel is reasonable because you will be touching a few spots. But that's only because we already know so much about you. Okay? That is like your opportunity to prove yourself. You don't have to prove everything about yourself. So even if it will be the panel lead to deliver the final evaluation, it's all the people behind them that will be actually giving you the evaluation. Questions about the panel? It's easy, yeah. Ooh. This is a terrible mistake to do. This is actually the reason most candidates fail a panel. Do you have an idea what that is? If I were a magic player or a magic judge, I would say the reason for failing in the process is metagaming. This starts from the self-review, as we said before, be honest. For example, the self-review is not a job application form. You do not need to convince somebody that you are good at anything. You just need to be honest with yourself and find a way to progress. Once you get to the later steps of the process, so let's go into the PI or the panel. The most common feeling is that, oh, now the only thing I need to do is to convince them that I'm good enough. So I will try to find the best answers that they would like to listen to. That's going to fail you, like 99% of the time. If you reach that step, it's not because you know how to fake to be a level 3, but it's because you are so much close to the level 3 that you may be actually level 3. So be yourself. Don't think that, oh, everybody's doing this thing in a specific way, so I must do it the same way. No. Be yourself. If the way you are was wrong for the level 3 rules, you would have known so much earlier. And there would have been people working with you saying, okay, you're doing things in this way, why don't you try this other way instead? So once you reach that step, just be yourself. You will receive very difficult questions, and they are difficult because there is not a right answer. The only right answer is the one you will provide if you are able to motivate it. So use everything you learn up to that point to find what you want to do in the program, what you want to do at events, and be able to sustain it with your knowledge and with your expertise. Trying to prove anybody that you are good will make you fail. Okay? Just be good and use all the skills that you have learned through the process. Whoa, I love books. And why is there a mistake to have a full library of books? Well, oops, yes. The real mistake is thinking that books will make you level 3. You don't have to learn all the compressive rules, all the IPGs, all the MTRs, all the articles in the judge blogs, all the posts by Toby since Kamigawa about policies. That's a starting point, yes, you need knowledge, but what makes the real difference is how to use it first, and to understand why we have this knowledge. So there is a huge difference. Two of the qualities that upsets the candidates the most after the evaluations are the ones that include the word philosophy in them. So policy, penalty and policy philosophy, and program construction and philosophy. Because actually, candidates study the IPGs, they study the level definitions, they do know how to certify people, they do know how to handle problems on the floor, but most of them miss the philosophy part. So why are we doing the things the way we are? How to get better at that? It's not just reading books, it's not just reading articles. It's mostly applying the things and challenging them. So every time you do something and you feel a little bit, is it correct? Try to find out why we are actually doing that. And maybe think of a different way of doing them and see if they are actually better. So there is no perfect decision in the judge program, not even on how we fix a problem, because there are so many elements that work at the same time. It's like a huge clock with a lot of wheels that spin together. And the way they are running now is because we challenge each single wheel in this clock and we modify them and we change them and we try to see if they fit better. Philosophy is all about this. So understanding how the clock works, not just what the time is in the day. Honestly, to be blunt, one of these two qualities may be at a tough spot at the moment. If you are in the process now, my suggestion is to keep working on understanding the judge program as it is now. Of course, once there will be changes, as usual, we will be providing reasonings about the changes were happening, what we are trying to address, what we are trying to solve, the new problems we have to face, and what we will be doing. So the process by how you learn this philosophy will stay the same. The knowledge applied to that philosophy will be different. But working through the philosophy part now will be so much helpful to you, even when things will change. Think about, I mean, they don't change that much, the IPGs, yes, like once every 3 or 4 years. No, they change every single step they come out. But that doesn't remove the way you learn why we do things or how we run stuff. And the same should be applying also to program construction. And if by any chance, after all the changes, you don't get these resources, once again your community managers are part of the loop, and they can help you with understanding why things are changing and what we are trying to achieve. And now a little moment of pause, because we are going to number one. And I really want you to guess what the number one mistake is. How can be a group of smiling and friendly people be a mistake? Well, the mistake is not in them, can be in you. It's about motivation. The thing that creates the biggest problems in the level 3 process is when your motivation is other stuff. The core motivation, let's say. By going to level 3, you will achieve beautiful things. You will get connected to a lot of people. You will be helping so many judges, so many players, so many organizers in the world. You will get access to so many cool things like Mythic Chow, what's the new name? Player tour events, amazing projects that require level 3s to work on. Yeah, that's true, honestly. But being a level 3 is kind of a baseline requirement. It doesn't really give you the right to get those things. So if your main motivations are what you will get from a level 3, for being a level 3, this can generate some bad feelings. And I believe the core motivation should be yourself. You should be doing this because you are caring about yourself. You want to become a better judge. You want to achieve, to improve in a lot of skills that will help you in your judge life and possibly also in your non-judge life. As long as you are true to yourself, once again, you will be able to get the most out of the process. As we said before, it's not a piece of cake. That means that either all the kings, all the recommenders, all the regional coordinators, all the community managers will try their best to help you. It's not a guaranteed success. There is still an evaluation, there is an exam that you need to pass. But even if you reach the end and you don't achieve it the first time, if you are true to yourself, you will be realizing that you gain so much. Both by personal growth, by access to information, by access to people that can be supporting you in the future. And I guess you could be a little bit more smiley at the end. Of course, I don't want you to fail and feel good about that. I want you to succeed and be excited by that. But once again, if I could just guarantee you success, I would. It would be unfair because probably it would be not something difficult to achieve and not so motivating to work towards. And questions? No? Yes. About this? So this is, I believe, I am in time. Okay. I wanted to So have you asked some questions about any part of the process? I went through some common mistakes about procedures, about how to approach things. If you have any questions about what's happening now, what will happen in the future, how to specifically solve some of the problems you may have with the process, please feel free to raise your hand. I mean, if you want to share, of course. If you don't want to share, I can be reached by Facebook. I can be reached by the official level 3 email, that is al3.testing.manager@gmail.com.
I'll share.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I want to share just a little bit. Over the last couple of years, I've had the pleasure of working closely with Matteo. I went through the L3 process and failed my panel the first time, and had a lot of difficulties after my panel getting new recommendations, getting the proper information I needed of what I actually need to be doing versus what I was doing. There were a lot of roadblocks for me, and once I finally reached out to Matteo, like, the roadblocks finally started to lift a little bit, because he's an incredible resource. And I know there's sometimes a stigma in the judge program where, oh, we don't want to reach out to leadership and bother them or let them know that, you know, we are having these problems, because maybe they won't think we're good enough, whatever it is. Don't, please reach out. Like, if you're stuck anywhere in the process, if it's your own motivations, if it's your self-review, or somebody else trying to write a rec for you and you're not getting the information you need, just please, Matteo is an amazing resource. The people that he put up are all incredible people, and I highly recommend reaching out and talking to them. That's it. That was my piece.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. I see. Is it a hand? Yes. I think.
What can you do when you get stuck into the part where you need a recommendation, but it's very difficult to work with the person that you choose, because they're not from your region, and then every time you try to reach them, they were like, oh, I'm gonna work these on the next event, and whenever the next event comes, fest or whatever, you usually don't have time to do everything that you're supposed to. And then you get stuck in the infinite loop that, oh, I'll help you, but I don't have time. But I'll help you. I don't have to.
Matteo, can you repeat the question?
Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong in repeating what you said. So, question is about recommendations and finding yourself in a situation where you don't have close level 3s that can work with you on a constant basis, and situations like, okay, getting promises, we will do this in the next event, and then we will progress, tend of take infinite amount of time, and sometimes the impression is that, okay, I want to help you, but I don't have time, or they are working with me, but it takes forever. Is it correct? Good. Yes, getting a recommendation, it is difficult. It is the part of the process that does exist, not to make you feel frustrated, but it is because we really want candidates to be working in close contact with someone able to mentor them. We don't have an infinite amount of level 3s. That's also why the zero-sum thingy. The more we are, the more connection we can create with the community, the more help in mentoring we can provide. But what can we do if we are stuck? And I feel this because as a level 3, I'm asked sometimes to work with candidates in order to eventually get a recommendation or to improving qualities. It gets difficult because of time is a limited amount of resource, and the passion that level 3s usually put in the program is a much larger quantity than the time they have. My advice is that the level 3 qualities are not tournament related only. There are a few that, yes, of course, you need to work together, and tournaments are the best opportunity to do that. But there are a bunch of them that can be worked through even in remote. Some of them are about knowledge and philosophy. Some of them are about some soft skills. Some of them can be practiced in not even a tournament, like investigations, for example. And some of them can be learned through things outside the judge program, like leadership, like teamwork, like diplomacy. So, my advice is try to get in contact with multiple level 3s. You don't have to choose only 2, you can be working with multiple of them. Of course, you will need a minimum of 2 recommendations, but you can be working with 3, 4, 5 people at single blocks. Try to find level 3 that you look up to in some specific qualities and get in contact with them. This is especially true for the non-tournament qualities. Level 3s, this is a wonder, but do talk to each other. So if I've been working with a level 2 judge and I think that this level 2 judge is very good at something and they are working for a level 3 recommendation, I can get in contact with the judge mentoring them for the recommendation and share information and even co-write part of the recommendation. There is not a secret recipe how you turn this into a positive experience, but also remember that you are the one driving the process, you are the one driving the bus. You need to be proactive. Don't be afraid to ask level 3s to be blunt. Sometimes level 3s try to be as gentle as possible, say, yeah, I think we can do it, maybe talk to me in 1 month, and then just put them, okay, tell me now, do you think I'm very far away? Do you think you have the time to help me? Do you think we will have the opportunities to work together? If not, do you think we can do like something more focused? I really like how you handle diplomacy. Can we be just chatting about diplomacy? How can I improve in that? That will keep you moving through the process. And the largest amount of work you do, even at spots, will later be we will be able to combine into what is a recommendation. And what if I have to choose? Okay, Philippe, I don't want. Yes.
How many co-writers can you have in the same?
Officially 2. That means, what does that mean? So one of the recommendations can be co-written by 2 judges, 2 level 3s. That means writing a recommendation means owning the things that you write. So you can have 2 people that own the things that they write. But that doesn't mean that if you work with me on one quality and I talk to your recommender, I convince them about the quality that we work together and that you are at level 3 level, they can be owning it. Okay, they don't actually have to work with you through the same exact things. So 2 people can write and sign the things that they write, but they can use inputs from different multiple sources. I think there was another hand. No? Are we good? Any more questions?
So
Yes.
Do you think the LP process is too difficult, too long, I think a lot of people are thinking it, so I wanted to say it.
Yeah. I think it is a very complicated process. I think over time we put so many, let's say, stages to pass because we have been expecting like a lot from the level 3s. Being too much, personally, I think it's a lot. I don't know if it's too much because I have never seen a different approach working. So what I know is that the people that succeed through the process are very, very good judges. I feel that some of the people that don't succeed through the process are also very good judges. So it makes me very sad when those people don't achieve the level 3s and don't pass the panel, because I do believe that they can contribute a lot to the program. So that's why I think it's really a lot. Making it easier can let people succeed a lot more often, and that's, for me, it's wonderful. That must be calibrated into what we actually then expect from these people, because a secret I didn't put in here, but I can tell you that through the process you have support. Even sometimes you will feel lonely. There is a lot of support. There are a lot of people you can go and talk to. Once you succeed and become a level 3, it's the other way around.